This comes to us from the CBS affiliate here in Memphis, WREG. I need to credit them for this, so there we go. Because sometimes the writing can get a little weird. This is about cannabis. It's about the pot. It's about the Mary Jane.
The Mary Jane.
The marijuana. Whatever you want to call it. And according to this, Colorado was the first state to legalize recreational marijuana in December of 2012. It has been that long.
Has it really?
The state of Washington, up in the Pacific Northwest, followed soon after them.
Yes.
Now, 18 states and the District of Columbia have legalized recreational marijuana in some form.
Right.
Now, a report from Clever Real Estate, which I don't know why they got into this, but they did. Memphis is cited as the number 4 city with the fewest dispensaries.
Well, that's because it's not legal.
And it says here the number 1 least passionate weed city. And the number 4 overall least welcoming city for cannabis. All right, I'm going to start throwing some flags here because I think...
Wait.
I can't...
Memphis is the number 1...
least passionate city.
No, I disagree.
And number 4 overall least welcoming city.
I don't buy that either.
Related, Memphis ranks number 6 for most Taco Bells per capita.
Really?
Roughly 3.5 for every 100,000 residents.
I only know of 2.
Really? That's according to WKRN over in Nashville. They also said Memphis has 0 dispensaries. Well, duh. And 0.4 head shops per 100,000 residents. That's accurate. But it's not legal here.
Right.
Head shops are totally legal, but
sure.
But we don't have dispensaries because
it's not legal.
Thank you, Governor Lee. Memphis has a pot passion score of 18 out of 100.
I don't buy that for 1 second.
Okay. All right, let's do some math here because I have monetary understanding here. According to WKRN in Nashville, so we know how they feel.
Right. I would think they'd be in favor of it in Nashville.
An ounce of high-quality weed. Yes. All right, so there's a lot going on here. With an ounce, we know. High-quality weed, that's up to... costs $336.
Correct.
Here in Memphis. If consumed once a month for a year, that would cost $4,035. Well, that's simple math. $336 an ounce. Memphis residents would spend 4.28% of their annual income on weed if they purchased an ounce of high and medium quality weed once a quarter. If you buy an ounce once every 3 months. Lightweight.
That's not much money, though.
It's not much weed either.
No.
Here in the state of Tennessee, marijuana is illegal for both recreational and medical purposes. A bill was introduced this year by Representative Bob Freeman, who's the Democrat out of Nashville, in an attempt to legalize it in the state. It's known as HB 1968, House Bill 1968. It's never made it to a full vote. Freeman said, it highlights the fact that we are continuing to turn our back to the potential revenue for taxing this legally. People are already using it, or else they wouldn't be getting picked up, and we're criminalizing this, putting people in jail for what is legal in other states. Right. Amen, brother.
Yep, he's right, man.
In a fiscal impact report from the state of Tennessee, legalization could increase state revenue by over $65 million in 2023 alone, and it is projected to increase each subsequent year. So I guess what they're saying here is that even though people don't really, on the surface, don't appear to care about it, if it became legal, they'd be all over it.
Oh, sure.
We've seen that in other states. I guarantee,
yes.
Mississippi, of course, in the throes of legalization, and the process is still an ongoing matter of debate for individual cities and counties. Now, while medical marijuana programs are available to those with severe illnesses, recreational ain't happening down there.
So did they do medical alcohol cards when this was all starting back in Prohibition?
No, but they should.
I mean,
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Arkansas, our neighbors to the left, have recently passed medical marijuana provisions to allow residents to apply for medical marijuana cards in order to access dispensaries. Arkansas's dispensaries opened for business in 2019, and so far, over 82,000 people have applied for their ID cards in Arkansas.
How many?
82,000.
Wow. A lot of glaucoma in Arkansas.
A lot of things in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And if 82,000 people have applied for cards over there, well, you got to remember that Arkansas is not a very heavily populated state.
Right.
You know, it's a fairly spread out state. The state of Arkansas has already seen dividends from the medical programs, over $20 million in sales by February of this year.
And that's only been legal for what, a couple of years now?
A couple of years ago. I think they passed it in 20, I think it was.
Yeah, I think I was here when that happened.
The United States House of Representatives recently passed legislation, H.R. 3617, Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement, known as the MORE Act, by a vote of 220 to 204, and that bill has been sent to the Senate for further debate. Good luck with that.
Yeah, right.
That's the deal that came out that said they would take some of the money and reinvest it into communities involving people that had been busted for it to expunge those records and then help them get into the business of dispensaries.
Right.
We talked about this. That they would help them get started so they can own their own business and something they have knowledge of.
Yeah.
And then do it right, do it legal, you know, everything that goes with it. The Senate bill is expected to meet a stalemate as at least 10 Republican votes are needed to break the filibuster, which seems unlikely because of that little R. Can't be having the devil's lettuce up in here. And see, the debates that I hear about this from these politicians are, it's sad, but it's amusing to watch them discuss this because it comes from a place where they don't know what they're talking about.
Right. Correct. It's
being laced with fentanyl.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No. It's not even just that. They just think it's bad. They don't get it.
They don't understand
it.
They can't control it. Is the problem.
Right.
And here's the other big issue. They never say this, but the fact of the matter is you make money by putting people in jail. It's what you do.
Right.
There's money to be made there. Hence the whole private prison thing.
Right.
And the easiest get is a couple of kids that are passing some dope around.
Right.
Yes. You bust a 17-year-old kid with a joint. He gets pinched. He goes to juvie. And now he's got a record.
Right.
He's going to get out. He's going to be, screw the man. I want more.
Right.
This ain't right.
Yeah.
It's legal over there. Why is it not here?
Right.
And then he later gets popped with an eighth.
Yeah.
And then he's back in jail again.
Right.
And he's in that whole circuit.
Mm-hmm.
And in some places and cases, they could stick a guy in jail for 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
Over a small amount. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I know a guy. 3 ounces. 18 years.
Wow. Cannabis. Wow.
He got out after 6, went on probation for 6, and then papers on 6. That's how that worked.
Wow. That's just...
And then it ruined his life after.
Well, yeah.
He's a musician.
Yeah.
We've talked about it on the air. His name is Mark Muleman Massey.
Oh, yeah.
If you find him...
That's right.
He'll talk. He had a towing business. He had a contract with the city he lived in. Mm-hmm. And he was the only guy in town.
Yeah.
They pulled his ticket because he was a convicted felon.
Yeah.
Over that.
Over marijuana. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah. I think it's going to change. It's just going to take time.
Massey is in the Library of Congress.
That's right.
Because of his work as a blues artist.
Yeah.
And the guitar he learned on is in that library. You can go to it and go see it and go play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll let you fool around with it.
That's cool.
He got it from Parchment Prison.
Right.
Yeah. It's crazy. I go to the seat of government for the United States of America. And it's legal there.
Right. Yeah.
But in my state,
it's not.
They had me chopping cotton.
Right.
And paving roads.
Right. Over something that's legal.
Over something that's legal in the seat of government. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Quite frankly, this fooling around with, deregulation through the federal government, it's almost as if you need to do it the way the Volstead Act was repealed, which would be it's a long way around the barn, and I could be way off base here, but, make it, part of an amendment to the Constitution.
Yes. Why not?
And then, federalize it and tax it on that level there and bring in the money. Because a lot of potheads don't care. As long as they get it, they'll come up with the money.
Yeah.
And it allegedly drives the price. It's a renewable resource, for God's sake.
No kidding. Quickly renewable.
Quickly renewable. And then you allow a few people or whomever, you allow people to just, get a few 5-gallon buckets going at the house and just,
there's another thing. They've been looking at apparently hemp seed.
Yes.
It can be fairly combustible.
Yes.
And they're looking at making fuel.
Yeah.
Out of hemp.
A lot of stuff they're doing with hemp.
I mean, there's a lot. It's not just a smokable substance.
No, and it's not a tincture. It can be. It's a versatile.
Well,
product.
sure.
It's used in cosmetics. It's used in a ton of stuff. And a lot of landowners, farmers are looking at this going,
oh yeah,
wait a minute now.
This could be a good crop.
This could be a cash crop for me.
Could be. Yeah.
They subsidize the hell out of corn because of ethanol and all the stuff that went with that. Corn is so hard on a guy's farm. You have to let fields go fallow for a while because of it.
It strips so much of the resources out of the soil.
It does. Corn is called the SUV in the plant kingdom.
Right.
Whereas hemp is not so much. Plus, they can grind up the leftover woody stalks of the hemp and compost it.
Yeah.
Turn it back into the ground.
Into the ground, yeah.
And if you kind of know what you're doing that way, then you're off to the races.
Right. Right.
There's a lot of people that have applied for permits and stuff to grow that.
Yeah.
The hemp part of it.
Yeah. And as soon as it's legal, I'm sure there are people that are like set up and ready to go.
They are ready to go. Yeah. And some are actually growing hemp.
Yeah.
Then it's a matter of just swapping it over. But there's still going to be a demand for hemp, even if marijuana is legal, because of the uses that
this country operated on hemp.
Well, God, for years you almost had to.
You were required to grow hemp.
Yeah.
Like, I think an acre.
Yeah.
Every farmer, I think they had.
It was a certain percentage of their land they had to
had to grow hemp. And it was for paper and clothing and sails and rope and,
I think the Revolutionary War had a lot to do with that.
Yes. Yeah, you had to grow hemp because they needed it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There it is.
There it is. It's not just your daddy's weed.
No, no, it's not. No, and you have to look at it from the business end of it, and that's what's happening.
Right.